What's going on, fellow A-plussers? It's your boy Adam Perez. I'm back once again with a brand new video today as we're set to get into a movie review for the brand new Netflix film titled Havoc. This is, in fact, from director and writer Gareth Evans, most notably known from his time from The Raid Redemption and The Raid 2, along with one of my favorite actors going today in Tom Hardy. We've got an incredible cast, if you ask me, and a fantastic lineup for this movie. This film wind up dropping, I think, just recently, as of April 25th, this past Friday, over on Netflix. When I went ahead and watched it late last night, it was ranked number one or top one movie in Netflix. So definitely a lot of people are certainly checking this one out. Over on my TikTok right now, the trailer for Havoc is just blowing up right now. I think we got like 30 something thousand views for the trailer alone. If you haven't checked out the trailer, I highly recommend that you do. But if you're familiar with any of the Raid films, you're probably very familiar with Gareth Evans, in fact, returning after such a long hiatus. I'm not sure if he had any other film that he wind up doing after the Raid 2, or if this is truly his first time back. But you say Gareth Evans, and I'm here for it, man. I had the opportunity to watch it yesterday, and you want to talk about like incredible intensity when it comes to action and violence. This movie definitely has it. If you love your action films filmed with intensity and violence, this certainly might be for you. If you are looking for anything else in an action film, definitely lacking in certain departments. But let's go ahead and talk about this. The first thing that I will say is I think Tom Hardy is one of those guys where he can take sort of a weak script and certainly make it better. I think Tom Hardy's performance in here was immaculate. I absolutely loved him sort of as this detective by the name of Walker in here. If you're not too familiar with the synopsis and the plot behind Netflix's Havoc, this is what it says. It says, after a drug deal gone wrong, a bruised detective must fight his way through the criminal underworld to rescue a politician's estranged son, unraveling a deep web of corruption and conspiracy that ensnares his entire city. He's definitely a bruised detective for sure, in the sense that there is a little bit of like a dirty cop sort of smell on him. And as the story unfolds, you kind of get to see his part in regards to whatever is weighing heavy on him from his past, and how it's kind of given him sort of a terrible name, if you will. People certainly view him a particular way based off of some of his past actions. Clearly, there's something hanging over him in here. Even it's kind of estranged him a little bit from his family as well. And so I think Tom Hardy really walks that line of like that gritty detective who you don't know if he's fully corrupt or not. He's clearly done some bad things, and finding himself in a position where now it's time for him to kind of make some better decisions and go certainly a different way. So he definitely plays that balanced cop really well, and that cop that's just one of the I don't even know if this movie takes place in like New York City or if it's a made up city, but I do love the world building that Gareth Evans has certainly made for us here. The world certainly feels very lived in. I kind of get almost like Gotham City vibes a little bit in regards to the amount of just corruption and crime that's certainly going on within this city. It almost feels like everybody is kind of dirty, whether that be like from your local police officers to some of your politicians, whether that be like the mayor or governor. Not really quite sure who you can trust because everybody's out to kind of backstab you a little bit. Those elements of corruption within the city definitely add a really interesting dynamic to things. Um, and I think on top of it, it really adds for sort of just a great vibe throughout this particular movie. So it's very gritty, it's very down to earth, very corrupt filled. But I gotta say, if there's anything about this movie that kind of throws me off, the script is a little bit weak. I'm not gonna lie. I feel like we've seen this type of movie before, where it's like a case of mistaken identity, right? Like somebody gets killed, they mistake the wrong person person for who it is. Everybody's going after this person, only to come to find out who the real culprits are behind things. And then towards the end, everybody figures everything out, and it's just a big sort of chaotic mess, if you will. So this is really a case of Walker trying to protect the people that are certainly being chased after in here. But it feels a little ABC. I don't think that this is necessarily Gareth Evans' sort of best work. I think he has done better work in something like The Raid and even The Raid 2, which I think is probably his best work in regards to just taking what he had before in Raid 2 and really adding layers upon it. Whereas here, there are some cool reveals, to certainly say the least. I do like how they revealed Walker's backstory and his connections to some of the people in the police within the police department. That really worked for me. But there are elements to this script that I feel like we've kind of seen before, and he doesn't really do too much of anything new to the script to really separate it from other sort of high octane action films, if that certainly makes any sense. If he does separate himself, it is definitely in the great acting performance by Tom Hardy. I do think Forrest Whitaker is in here too. I do like him in this movie. Even Timothy Oliphant is in here, but I do think there are certain people that are maybe underutilized a little bit more, and I really would have loved to have seen more for them. But Tom Hardy just does a remarkable job in this. To me, his performance alone really helped carry this movie and keep me invested in it. The action is, if you've seen The Raid and The Raid 2, the action is, I don't want to say it's nonstop. There are really two big action pieces that certainly happen in here. The club scene that you guys will eventually see, and then the climax to this movie is everything that I hope for when it comes to Gareth Evans. It's chaotic, it's visceral, it's really bloody and kind of gory at times, very over the top action pieces, and great, just amazing stunt work. I do think from a directing point of view, he's got a really great sort of long one shot. The editing when it comes to the fight sequences, again, it is very chaotic and fast paced. It does take us a while to kind of get into those levels of action that I was certainly hoping that we would get, but when we get them, they certainly deliver. So again, if you don't mind sort of a weak script, but you're here for the action and the blood and the violence and the action pieces that are put together, some good directing with the one maybe great actor that really helps carry things a little bit, you might certainly find yourself kind of impressed. The CGI for me and the digital backgrounds definitely needed work. I don't know what the budget of this movie certainly was, but I almost feel like this is sort of Gareth Evans kind of taking a step back, a little bit too reliant on the CGI, especially when it comes to the police chase. It's very messy. I much would have rather have something practical, real cars. I don't know the elements of like how much was CG and how much was actual physical vehicles, but the reliance of CGI very much in the beginning of this movie almost took me out of it. In other aspects of the CGI usage, also when it comes to like bigger showcases of the city and elements of long sort of like street blocks and things like that, and some of the long unedited cuts that we wind up having. So while I do think visually it really adds to like the dark and gritty and criminal aspect of this sort of city that we're in, sometimes it was just a little bit too much when it comes to the CGI elements that kind of took me out of it a little bit. But overall, I don't think it's Gareth Evans' best work. I feel like I kind of very much like him more as a director than sort of as a writer himself. And I think if any particular studios out there is looking for a guy that can do an action thriller from a directing perspective, Gareth Evans is certainly your man. And attach a really great writer to it with him, and I think you guys can have movie magic, to certainly say the least. So Tom Hardy, great in here. The action is visceral, chaotic, hard hitting, great choreography, a lot of gunplay in here, a lot of bone breaking explosions. I mean, Yeah, it definitely fulfilled my need when it comes to an action film, but certainly suffered when it comes to the plot, to certainly say the least. But look, guys, I want to know your thoughts. Have you checked out Havoc? What did you like about it? What didn't you like about it? Are you willing to check it out based off of who's certainly in this film? I definitely want to know your thoughts. These are simply my A plus opinions. I want to know yours. Let your thoughts be known in the comment section box below. But until then, do us a big favor. As always, take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and keep it A plus. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.